Transmitting from the Mojave Wilderness in Joshua Tree, California, now is the time for Desert Oracle Radio, the voice of the desert.
Night has fallen on the desert. Settled into a 1930s house for the week. Wandering the shady streets just in time for all the restaurants to be open again. Walking around town is a rare treat for people stuck in the Mojave for too long. Stuck anywhere in the West built after the age of the automobile. Where town means 4 lanes of state highway with a sloppy collection of chain fast food drive-thrus and chain gas stations. With a Walmart on the one end and a Dollar General on the other, and scattered, closed down forever local businesses in between set off the frontage road and dilapidated strip malls. Always a long hike through the diesel exhaust to the next pile of martial arts storefronts and beauty salons and pawn shops. Even the pawn shops can't make it alone these days. There's a pawn shop chain in the low desert with a slogan stolen from some bigger chain that sells something else, and maybe they haven't noticed. Or maybe it's all intentional. And if you look into the financials, it turns out they're all owned by the same banking services hedge fund that quietly runs all the payday loan shops and strip club ATMs with the $5 fees. The business of America is business. And the business of business is money laundering. I broke away from the chain link gates, the gates of plague, of mercy. $3.95, more numb than alive, numb to all the possibilities. Grind you down. It's business now. Please don't take it personal. Can't be free till you pay the late fees. Mojave Spaceport. Was gonna buy some land up there in 2005, space tourism, investment tiers. The price was good, but I was broke. Besides, who knew when the rockets might be ready? We monitored the news for progress and crash disasters. In the end, the whole operation was moved to New Mexico, where they built an enormous space hangar that looked like a Georgia O'Keeffe lily opening to the morning sunlight. Mojave Spaceport. Gateway to the Sierra Nevada. Gateway to the Tehachapis. Gateway to the stars. Silver Queen off the 14 to the 395, the 190 to Death Valley. America is full of abandoned small towns too far from a metropolitan area for the tastemakers. They don't have fast internet, and it takes 3 days for the UPS truck to deliver whatever you ordered last night. What did I order, anyway? I hope I can send it back. I hope it's not alive. What if someday... What if we stop working hard and stop doing what we're told? What if we moved to little specks of towns all over the country? Not the places that already have an organic bakery and 4 coffee shops with more almond milk than coffee beans, but the places built for things that no longer happen and where nobody ever came up with another workable idea. Old mining towns, old cattle ranch crossroads, the mostly abandoned towns on Nevada's US 50 or US 6, the real Las Vegas an hour east of the wealthy island of Santa Fe, far eastern Oregon and Washington State, places where you could maybe afford a house for your family, your friends, whatever arrangement makes sense. Clean air, hopefully enough water. Clean streams for fishing. Walk your dog out the back door and into the wild. Keep a garden to attract the bees and the hummingbirds. Why not? What are you waiting for? Start a business, start a nonprofit, apply for some of that stimulus money they're pumping into the economy. Put up a solar pergola for the kids to play underneath on the hot days. And for the adults to hang out underneath to drink beer and watch the honeybees. Give away your belongings and follow what? Well, don't follow a person, for God's sake. That only leads to trouble and heartbreak. Follow that dream. Follow your moral compass. It's hard, I know. It's hard to settle down when you're up against the asset class and their real estate trust and their all-cash offers. But it's possible. Everything is possible with God. Even God is a possibility. In a universe that is filled with such things. Well, it's sure nice to walk around the back streets of the little eastern Sierra towns where coincidence and conspiracy align to keep those little communities like they were, walkable and reasonable. When you can fit a town within a square mile or two, everything's right there. People are out walking their dogs, riding their bicycles, sitting on porches, tending their flowers. The movie theater's still closed, though. And Marquis said, "Now playing Nothing." Starring nobody.
Water was needed. He, by the grace of God and upon the word and authority of God, walked up to a great rock, symbolic of Jesus Christ, struck that rock, and water gushed forth, sufficient for all of the people to drink all of their time in the wilderness. Moreover, by faith, that rock did follow them, and that rock was Christ. Yes, Moses, by the power of faith, conquered temporal supply needs, so that the very heavens rained down manna, and there was plenty for everyone to eat. And when they became weary of one diet, he prayed again, and the Lord sent quail on the breeze until everyone had meat to eat. Joshua knew the power of prayer. He was given, through faith, power over the armaments of mankind, so that God discomfited the enemy, and a great wall, large enough for houses and streets to be built upon it, was shaken as though by an earthquake, and fell to the earth, and lay in the dust.
Balmy, breezy spring sundowns. Green cottonwoods marking the path of the streams and the river, the great mountains all around. Church steeples and old neon. The spring will pass, already running away from us here in the Mojave High Desert. No wildflowers to speak of, although many of the Joshua trees have been topped by those creamy blooms like big artichokes. The school system won't open the schools, but the kids are allowed to play sports again. So every field and every little desert town is lit up at night for the first time in a year. Rushing to get in a season of sport before it's too hot. Kids in their team uniforms lined up at the burger joints. It kind of jolts you, realizing such a common sight had gone missing for more than a year. There were even kids in matching soccer jerseys lined up in the organic juice shop the other day. Shouldn't you kids be at a McDonald's or something? But that first hot day of the year, down here usually in late February, might be late March or mid-April, depending on your elevation and latitude. Well, it's a false alarm, but it gets you thinking about what's ahead, what's to come. When the desert does not play nice, when the dry summer heat turns heavy and wet, The monsoon thunderheads that rarely break open, and the rattlesnakes all coiled up around the creosote, hiding from the heat. When you bring your new dog home from the pound and it never saw wild open land before because it had been in jail in some suburban backyard. And the rattlesnake avoidance appointment is next week. Well, at least the dog already had the rattlesnake vaccine. He'll recover just fine. Everybody with a dog in the desert has a story about snakes. Some are funny, like a real tough old yard dog cornered in the shed by a harmless gopher snake doing its best coil and strike act. Anyway, if you want regular monsoon rains, pay a visit to the Navajo Nation in July, the Hopi Nation, the Petrified Forest, Winslow, Arizona. See it all coming down. Wide sheets of mud-red water spilling over the interstate. Semi-trucks crawling at 30 miles an hour. The windshield wipers can't keep up. Let's take a look in the Desert Oracle mailbag. See what we got in here. A lot of cards and letters. Thank you, as always. Oh, we got a centipede down there in the bottom. First, I want to read this lovely card from Northern England. From Kingston upon Hull, which is usually just said Hull. And if you know your recent music history, you know it's the hometown of Mick Ronson, of the Spiders from Mars, Genesis Peorage, of Throbbing Gristle, Fatboy Slim, and the House Martins, and Everything But the Girl, and Roland Gift from Fine Young Cannibals, etc. Hi, Desert Oracle. Greetings from Northern England. I hope you're holding up in these strange times. Anyway, I wanted to write you a card to say how much I love listening to your podcast. After first stumbling upon your zine in Jay Babcock's Airbnb back in March of 2018, I was very happy to learn of your podcast. It transports me back to Joshua Tree each time I tune in. I also loved your book and recently became a patron. Thank you. I thought you might appreciate hearing some strange and wonderful tales from my local area here in East Yorkshire. Back in 1801, a strange, unexplained phenomenon was seen above Hull and was described at the time as, quote, an immense moon with a black bar across, which then split into 7 globes of fire, end quote. It is one of the earliest UFO sightings. A local historian has looked into this and other UFO sightings in the area, and there was no record of an eclipse, and the moon was in the first quarter. Very odd. We also had some other strange sightings in 1967, 1985, and 2002. There was even a UFO conference here in 2015. Anyway, I thought you'd like to hear about the above. Keep up the wonderful work. Stay weird. From Kate in Hull, England. P.S. Joshua Tree holds a special place in my life. I hope to return once it's safe again. I'm very passionate about conserving natural spaces. I love the good work that Mojave Desert Land Trust does, and I support their work on a monthly basis. Thank you, Kate, for this important information. Thanks for supporting the Land Trust and Desert Oracle Radio. You can come back to Joshua Tree anytime. We're pretty much all opened up again. And for any residents who missed the news, Copper Mountain Community College has the vaccines. It's real easy to make an appointment on your phone or whatever, so you don't have to worry about lines and crowds. We are so terrified of medical expenses in this country that a lot of people don't realize you do not need health insurance to get the shot. Sure, they ask, but if you don't have health insurance, don't worry. For once, something basic in society is paid for in this country. Here's a postcard of a desert thunderstorm over Utah. Dear Desert Oracle, went all the way to back of Beyond Books in Moab to pick up a copy of Desert Oracle Volume 1, but they were sold out. I picked up a copy of Desert Solitaire by Edward Abbey instead. Luckily, they can order for me, so the sale won't go to the Big A. Keep doing what you do. Todd B. Todd, I appreciate you supporting independent bookstores. And Desert Solitaire is a better book anyway. And by the way, you can listen to Desert Oracle Radio on KZMU in southeastern Utah now, from Green River to Monticello on 90.1 and 106.7 FM Saturday nights at 9 p.m. They are an all-solar-powered radio station, too. God bless them. The sun god, I mean. One of the sun gods, I mean. Strangely, for the United States moon landing program, we chose the name Apollo for a lunar program. One more, quick one. Hey now, it's been a long time. The Mikes, Dismukes, and Flynn told me about Desert Oracle, and I found your P.O. box online. I'm going to buy a copy of Desert Oracle from an online retailer. Will you sign it for me, please? Blessings, Keith A. Liker. Keith Liker. Now that's a name I've not heard in a long time. A long time. Decades. In fact, back when I used to run around with these characters, camping in the desert, climbing mountains, hitting the cheap Vegas buffets on the way out of the wilderness. I got hypothermia up on Charleston Peak this one time, like a fool. Because, like a fool, I'd climbed a mountain in early spring wearing a pair of Levi's, which became very waterlogged and cold from hacking through ice for a couple of hours. They said I was talking a lot of nonsense, and I thought, how could they tell? I will not give you a secret destination, as that would defeat the purpose of discovery. Just quit looking at the TikTok or whatever for 2 minutes and use your map, use your brain. Consider how much more time you'll have for walking out in the open, counting the birds, cooking under the stars, whatever you want to do if you don't spend so many hours waiting for a meal at some popular desert restaurant or bar with 300 other people outside waiting to get in. You can do that in Echo Park. Because of the line of work I'm lucky enough to find myself in, people often ask what my favorite places are, the places I return to, and I generally say I don't have any favorite places. I like to get behind the wheel and drive until I feel like stopping, drive until I reach some distant mountain range I started to see around lunchtime, then look on the map and see what's around. A state park, a national forest, a wild and scenic river, a weird motel next to an abandoned mine, and a jeep trail up to a piney ridge. From Amboy to Zzyzx and across the great Mojave Wilderness, this is Desert Oracle Radio, broadcasting from Joshua Tree Friday nights at 10 p.m. and at various times on our homemade network of participating community radio stations from coast to coast, especially in the West. The podcast is always available if you're in range. The name of this show is Desert Oracle Radio, just like the broadcast. Soundscapes on tonight's program composed and performed by Joshua Tree's own RedBlueBlackSilver. And support for this program comes from our friends like Kate, who contribute to the cause on Patreon. That's patreon.com/Desert Oracle. And I am your host, Ken Lane. I hope you get out this week and enjoy the sweet weather and the relative calm, especially if you're away from other people. Thanks for listening, and good night from the voice of the desert.